Don't worry, I'm not leaving you. I'm still today delivering to you the best Cosmos information. Yes, because I am Don Kryptonium. And today we are going to discuss the hot Cosmos takes for 2023. I know what you would say. Hey, it's already February. Yes. But we have this post come from Imperator Research, and I think this blog post requires some attention because it's some really great takes that we have here. Before we start, of course, like and subscribe. 30% of this channel viewers are not subscribed, and I think it's time to face the truth. I think it's time to look in the mirror and say to yourself, I cannot live without Don Kryptonium. So let's start. Interchain security. We all believe in that. We all think, hey, it's the greatest thing that will happen in Cosmos. Finally, more utility. Finally, it's going to pump. It's going to be big. But there is some concerns, and I spoke about those concerns on this channel, right? And actually, the Imperator, the member of the Imperator, addressing those issues that there could be. So what is interchain security? Simply, it's one chain, which is provider chain here, that it says, provides economic security to other chains, referred as the consumer chain. So Cosmos has over $4 billion in value, so it's much more difficult to exploit when it compares to smaller chain that has maybe few $1 million of value. So this concept of borrowing security, which is easier for consumer chain, faster bootstrapping, they don't have to look for their own validators, they pay validators some money. It sounds all perfect, but it might appear attractive as it says here, but there are several points that could prevent it from being successful as it appears to be, and I feel those troubling points are often overlooked. The first thing, scalability issues. So you need to know that every new chain is additional node for the Cosmos validator, and it comes with additional cost. How much it would be, of course, it depends on the validator infrastructure. On the cheap, that could go for from $100 a month. For most, that will be much more. So imagine if you are sometimes said that Cosmos will secure 1,000 chains. I believe this was rhetoric early on. So imagine if one Cosmos secured 1,000 chains, how expensive it becomes to the validator, but also how difficult it would be to manage for one validator this 1,000 chains, because you need to understand, you get slashed on one chain, you get slashed on the hub. So there is a lot of work for very low compensation. If you calculate many other chains, it would be very difficult. I validate some of these smaller chains that have the market cap of few $1 million. If they don't have high inflation, it's even unprofitable for you to run the node on these chains. And imagine how unprofitable it could be if they only pay portion of the fee. As I said before, to be profitable, you need millions of transactions and a lot of fees to make it sustainable. So sovereignty is the next one. If they are successful, if they produce a lot of value, why would they stay the consumer chain and pay the fees to Cosmos if they can get over full control and be successful on their own? So this blog post states here that this security would probably work more as the incubator, and as the chains grow, they have no reason to stay in the Cosmos. And my concern is I don't see this as the incubator, because as the incubator, there is no value for the validators. But it also points that there are chains that prioritize security, right? So if the chain prioritizes security, it might be better for them to stay secured by the hub. So for example, the generic purpose issuance chain is expected to issue native USDC, so using interchain security makes sense as native stablecoins are crucial for the ecosystem. So what I said before, I do believe that interchain security should focus just on these few important projects, and with them, if the hub controls the issuance of the stablecoin, that's the power into all ecosystem. The atom doesn't have to be the currency of the interchain, right? But if USDC is, the atom is the king. Not everything is dark, okay? There is some positives. So the positive is that the IBC will become the number one bridge. But it's actually many bridges, right? It's many blockchains, but it will become number one in the all ecosystem, in all crypto. So as of now, IBC is third one in transferring value, right? Because you have to transfer to osmosis to the swap maybe. So bridges are this weak point of everyone. We know that. And there might be advantages of IBC, but also the blockchains like DYDX, Say, and some others coming to the ecosystem. For sure, they will increase the IBC volume. You have Wormhole Bridge will create its own chain. Composable, working on their own solutions, extending IBC to the other ecosystem. And you can see the bridges were always the problem. So the IBC is kind of solution to this problem because they work slightly different, They don't rely on the multi-sig. They don't rely on the smart contract. You just transfer the native asset between the different chains that are secured by the validator set, right? So it's not easy to exploit the validator set. So that is the take. The third one, it believes that Celestia will be new paradigm of crypto. And everyone heard about Celestia, right? Like everyone come to me, what about Celestia? I don't know much about Celestia. I don't know much about modular blockchains. I can tell you, they raised a lot of money, over $50 million. It's truly overhyped, and what it states that it allows the blockchains to scale better. So, for example, if you have traditional layer 1 chain, you have all the parts on this chain. So this is data availability, consensus, settlement, and execution all happens on this one chain. While in the module chains, you have data availability is on Celestia, while others like consensus settlement is on Dimension Hub, and execution is on the Roll Up. And this allows the blockchains to scale better. Some believe, so here it says they are more scalable because there is separation of resources, meaning that each node is more specialized to run specific function, resulting in more efficiency. Some would believe that Celestia is even competition to the Interchain security because it states that many projects will adopt Celestia as data availability layer and construct their own sovereign rollups on top of the chain. To facilitate scaling, it is crucial to simplify the development process for developers, and a one-click rollup kit already appears in the development. So maybe many chains, would use Celestia as the data availability layer to, I guess, secure themselves. We all believe the app chains are going to take over everything. But will they? We saw in Cosmos that once the bear market hits, it's kind of difficult. They are expensive. So imagine you have very specific app chain that doesn't scale into billions of dollars. It's not really as profitable. They have the choice run with very few validators, which make them, easy to exploit, or they become unprofitable. Of course, solution could be Interchain security, maybe Celestia, but it states that exactly an app chain is not easy to manage, as the core team must not only focus on its core product, but also on the infrastructure and security of the chain. So this is difficult task. So the app chains as their own sovereign chains might be sometimes difficult if they don't have the certain size. So maybe app chains, but secured by something else, because that would be difficult. And ICS meant to solve it, but once again, if they're too small, this venture is unprofitable. And I think number 5 that could, finish this and also give you a little bit more nuanced opinion to the app chain thesis, that it's not easy to build its own sovereign chain, and maybe it has more sense that actually deploy smart contract, because there is belief we'll have million chains, but why not to deploy the smart contract, and be secured by the whole chain? So the sovereign nature of app chains on Cosmos impedes composability, which in turn slows down global adoption. For example, here are some tasks that are simple to implement on Ethereum and difficult to do on Cosmos. So DEX aggregator on Ethereum, you deploy the app, but it's not easy to do in Cosmos. Developing, borrowing, lending product, we already have UMI, so we already have it, but it's easier to deploy it as the app on Ethereum, and doing the flash loans. So all of this is hard to do on Cosmos because it needs to deal with different chains, and this requires having IBC connections between all the different steps. We just have to see how hard it was for Mars Protocol to build its hub and spoke model. Therefore, in 2023, I anticipate more teams working on those issues to build tools and products to solve these points. Or maybe they will just deploy apps. So that's it for today. Don Kryptonium is done. Let me know in the comments, did you like this video? What do you think? What are your opinions? With that, Don Kryptonium's out.